Good day, ladies and germs. Lionel with you on this beauteous day here in New York City. Beautiful 55 degrees. Who cares what temperature it is? Really? I mean, seriously. Let me get my banner back up. I'm going to get that up there, and I want to get that thing right up here. This is Elle was using this. She did a great interview with a Jen Coffendaffer, a former FBI profiler and one of the most brilliant people you have ever had the benefit of listening to. So check her out at Lynn's Warriors. It's just great stuff. I hope everybody is fine today and all of that. Let me remind you, I think we're going to do it. Beginning Saturday and Sunday morning, overnights in New York City, 2 to 5 a.m. Eastern time, 3 hours. I could do more, but 3 is enough. I will be returning to WABC. Met with the folks today, and we're going to do it. There's going to be a lot of stuff going on. So I'm going to be providing you with more information on that. It's a very interesting thing because I had the, well, it was at a time when talk radio was just so terrific. When I worked with Rush Limbaugh, you know what it is to work with what Rush Limbaugh is? Rush Limbaugh is just walk down the hall and there he is, and Bob Grant, and it's just a magical time. And then it turned to complete and utter shite afterwards by virtue of, for reasons anyway. So then there were other little incarnations, but that was just like so much. That was my first entree. WABC was, at one particular point, it was so big. So anyway, to make a long story short, I'm going to be providing links to you. And I want you, I said, well, let me explain something to you. I said, I have a lot of very, very loyal people here. They said, what do you mean? I said, well, this is a part of the nation. And they said, well, do you think that you can maybe get them to, listen in or basically call? See, one of the things what would be the best for you is I would love to one day hear who you were. Our friend Christos called the other day because we've never been. We're thinking about maybe some way of doing this, but it's very difficult to take calls on this thing. So that's coming up. So in the event, depending upon your West Coast, East Coast, or all over, wherever the hell you are. Plus, it's going to be on. They have a social media. I've never seen a setup like this. I mean, never. I've never seen anything like this. I'm normally used to radio because a lot of stations are very, very, very antagonistic towards social media. Oh yeah, don't forget Lynn Samuels. Oh, Lynn Samuels and Lionel. I mean, she was just. Oh, I have a list at one particular point of Curtis. Everybody, it was so weird today. Do you remember James Golden? Well, Bo Snerdley worked with Rush. He's on ABC. I've known him for 30 years when I first came. Bo Snerdley. Kit Carson was a young man who died very young, who was on Rush's team before then. Remember Rush's Golden Microphone Studio was over there. But everybody, the board ops, I don't want to mention their names, but so many people that were just, it's so strange to be in a city this big, but the radio community is so small. So anyway, that's going to be up. I'll give you the information. And they said, do you have any? I said, you don't know how loyal these people are. I said, you have no idea. I said, they're different. They're not. First of all, they're the most engaged. So I'll be giving you that information as well. And I would love at one particular, because my emphasis is, and the only thing that's different from me from anybody else is I'm caller heavy. The callers are the greatest things in the world because of the fact that they are, you play the callers. You play them. And when you hear people, overnights in New York City, it's wild. And so many people do not sleep. How many of you find, folks, cannot sleep? And your radio is your friend. Stephen Lynch says, Tucker and McGregor met in Dublin today. Well, there you go. That's about time. And DB Lynn Samuels. What was I going to say? A lot of these folks, I don't know if it's weird. It's so strange. You might have a hard time believing this, but some people do not listen to Tucker at all, And there are some people who listen to Tucker who've never heard radio at all, and there are people who live in these words. I'm also glad to tell you that my good buddy Anthony Cumia is also there as well. So this is a very strange, this is a unique reunion. I saw him the other day. I said, "Look at this! How did this come about?" And how and it's very, very interesting again to see. And I want to tell you one thing about radio. I was looking at some of the numbers of other stations. Oh my God. WABC, I'm looking at the numbers hour by hour. Oh my God. They're the number one. People say, "Oh, we're number one." Yeah. I'm looking at this. It's like, holy. And every second is accounted for. Everything. Not like the old days. Ratings were like, well, I don't know what the ratings were. They were very, very strange. You'd get a little Arbitron little book, and now it's, well, I don't want to go into the methodology of it, but it's a different story altogether. So that's coming up. It was very interesting today. Spent a long time. And I think Friday, I think we're going to be doing something where I'm going to be on with former Governor David Patterson. It's called Left, Right, or something like that. And I'm telling you right now, I'm going to bust his balls. We're old friends. Again, this is the weirdest thing in the world. Old friends. And I can do it playfully, but I can smash. You know what I can do. And it's not as a conservative. That's the best part. It's not conservative. It's just common sense. I'm a common sense dude. That's all it is. So anyway, so that's coming up. So very, very happy about that. And there's something. I was going to tell you one thing about AM radio too, which is important. We don't have these stupid algorithms. Today, I was on Redacted with Natalie and Clayton. We're talking about the Weinstein case, and we're talking about stuff which is we're not saying anything. We're talking about a news story. We didn't say anything untoward. And at first they'll demonetize, and then you got to review, and it's like, what is going on here? AM radio doesn't do that. You just don't drop, F-bombs and things like that. But we don't go through that there. This is a different story. We're always saying, well, can we say this? Can we say that? I don't know. Algorithms. You ever seen when I'm on my good friend Sean Atwood's show, we have to use these. He has to say PDF files to refer to certain types of paraphiles who do dastardly things to our most innocent. Can you believe this? Our friend Sparky couldn't say in Super Chats, couldn't write good. I kid you not, he wrote doog. This is a grown man. He said, I can't say good? And I kept saying, Sparky, what are you putting doog for? You okay? Maybe you're a little shingad. No, he said, I can't. AM radio doesn't do that. Talked to a woman the other day woman or man, transgender, called me Friday afternoon. She was born with a penis and a vagina. Hello. Hello, everybody. Nicest person, beautiful. Had a wonderful man named Sal. Sal from Hackensack, I believe. Broke everybody's heart. And he said his wife had passed away, and he went back to his apartment for the first time, or, or, yeah. And he said, I have to live in this. My wife died for all these years. It was the most heartrending, beautiful, and everybody that I talked to heard it said, wasn't that something? Nobody remembers what I said. Nobody remembers what my thoughts were, but they remember this wonderful man. It's like, I said, you make sure you call me. Call me again. It's weird. It's connecting to people sometimes with their stories. I had a guy who called over the weekend. He runs a hockey a camp, a school, whatever, on Long Island. I've never been on ice skates in my life. Never. We're talking about, it's very interesting. Police, detectives, older people, younger people. Everybody's got some thing, I don't know what it is. And they all have this. It's not typing. We're not typing. We're talking. Think about this. I love this. Don't get me wrong. I love yous. As my good friend Christo says, I love yous. But they're talking. Most people don't type. Most people don't type well. So there's it's a fascinating interplay. Plus, but this is like going to a cockfight. Please, it's not what you think. Not only do you have the cockfight, you got the people betting on I represented a bunch of cockfighters years ago. Fascinating. Oh my God. Oh, this was the most. Oh, it was so interesting. So you bet on the fight, you bet on the side bet, you bet on the guy betting on the side. You've got 9 different levels of betting. Well, that's what this is. I'm talking to you, you're talking to me, you're talking to each other. Then later on, after we're done, the whole thing, you talk after the fact. But you're typing. You're typing. And you're doing an emoji. And there's a certain thing you can do with an emoji, there's a certain thing you can't. I don't enjoy a certain degree of fluidity when it comes to emojis. People like to talk, I think. Then there are I'm sorry to say this, but the younger tykes, the kids today, they don't talk on the phone. Or if they do, they talk like this. Or they do FaceTime. Well, that's okay, sort of. Do you see what's happening? This is communication. But they're talking to each other. But this talk radio is, you're calling me, everybody hears you. It's just, so each one's different. They're the same, they're different. The story I was listening today for the umpteenth time of Dave Smith? No, Dave Smith and Douglas Murray. Oh my God, they're going crazy over this goddamn story about, did you hear this? And this and that. And then they had breaking points, and you've got crystal balls, and you got this one, and they're going crazy. The leftists say, boy, that Dave Smith just destroyed Douglas Murray talking about Gaza, whatever it was. Most people, I guarantee you, on talk radio, they would say, who the hell are you talking about? What are you talking about? Douglas Murray. Who's Douglas Murray? He's who? What about it? Well, he was on with Joe Rogan. Who? Doesn't that kill you? You don't know who Joe Rogan is? No. You don't know who Joe Rogan is? No. So that fascinates me. I would time work with a Chidrulo. This was a program director. Program director technically does, well, theoretically does the, I don't even know what the hell they do. It's hard to explain. Technically, he kind of programs the station. Let's talk about this. Let's don't talk about that. Do you remember when Dale Earnhardt died? Do you remember this? Dale Earnhardt. Dale Earnhardt. Dale Earnhardt died, and he died in 2001. February of 2001. And I forget where I was, but there was a person one time, believe it or not, there was a program director. I said, whatever you do, make sure you talk about Dale Earnhardt. And he said, who's Dale Earnhardt? I said, are you kidding me? He didn't know. Dale Earnhardt? Uh-oh, I'm blurry. Wait a minute, I'm blurry. There we go. Didn't know who Dale Earnhardt was. I said, this is half of the nation, if not more, is in mourning. What are you talking about? Oh my God. So I'm kind of in this middle. I understand what's going on, and I don't want to ever be in the position where I say, I don't know what this story is about. I may not share your fascination with it, but I don't want to be in the position where I don't know what it's about. That chick with the bad teeth, that xanthodont, isn't that great? Xantho is yellow. Xanthic, Xanth. There we go. Xanthic and Dantic is teeth, so yellow too. But she has teeth like piano keys. And anyway, like a picket fence. So they're still talking to this day, now, today, about how she was on SNL and they were mocking her from White Lotus. Now, you might say to yourself, that's really not an important story, and you'd be correct, but at least you know about it. How about the chicks who were changing the world of science in the space shuttle? They're still talking about it. People are still talking. That was, I don't know if you saw this. There is a lady by the name of Conservative Mama. I think her name is Conservative Mama. She is so good. She is one of the best actresses. Did you see this? Did you catch her act, as it were? We call it an act. Hang on a minute. Here we go. Check this out. This is fantastic.
Yes, it was a life-changing experience. I'm a completely different person now.
I gotta kiss the earth. I do. Just give me a moment. Thanks.
I can tell you, in complete sincerity, since I got back, that my skin has never looked better.
There were moments, and I'm not gonna lie, where I didn't know if we were gonna make it back.
I'm gonna be completely honest with
He's
you guys.
great.
If we had not done the extensive training that we did, I don't think we would have made it back.
Communication is gonna be key. I understand that. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yes, I'm gonna need some direction. So I take the strap and I just pull it across my chest like this. And then I click. Do I click? Do I wait for a click? Do I keep pushing until there's a click? I need this training. I'm sorry. I need you to repeat that. So to get in the capsule, I lean in like this. And then to get out of the capsule, I take myself out of the capsule. Is that right?
I mean, after the flight, I realized that my hair had so much more volume. I don't even have to do my hair anymore. Like, I woke up and it looked like this. I mean, to be a woman in space.
Can you expand on what it means to be a woman?
Any other questions? I now know
That's beautiful.
how the astronauts in space that were stuck up there forever, I now know how they felt.
That's beautiful.
Weren't you only up there for 11 minutes?
It honestly changed me so much that I'm going to have to change my name.
I think, Conservative Mama, I think she is. Weren't you up there for 11 minutes? It doesn't matter. Now, you know what's great about that? I can show you. I can't show that on the radio. We can play the volume. Do you see how this works? Do you see the interplay? Do you see? Is it me? Is it me? Of course it's me. Here's another one. Did you see the babbo? Babbo. By the way, in Sicilian, babbo is like stupid. Baba is stupid woman, right? Babbo, babbo. Well, anytime you see B-A-B-B-U, bedu, u is Sicilian. Now, babbo in Roman or means daddy. You know, daddy. Babbo, not good. There was this, we knew a woman years ago named Lida, but the Sicilians would call her Lida, which is ugly. It's just, you know what I mean? You just change the word. Remember, wayo, wayo, papa, wayo, wayo, papa, da, pa. Earth, Wind, and Fire. We would sing feo, feo, I que feo. How ugly. See? Feo, wayo. You see how that works? Do you see? There were these guitar players, classical guitar players, the Struns brothers. I'm not, you think I'm kidding? Here we go. Look at me all the time. Look at this. Struns brothers. When I heard this, I laughed. Struns and Farah. Struns and Farah. Used to be the Struns brothers. Oh, Struns brothers. No, Fortune. Struns and Farah. Thomas Struns. Well, there was a footballer, but I think the Struns brothers, we laughed our, you know what's up. There was a tennis player years ago, Michael, I think it was Steek, okay? In Sicilian, Steek or Steekia means Steekia the Tonanna, your grandmother, you know what I mean? Piodenda. You see how this works? Do you understand? I may be wrong, but you're a moronga. Moronga is another. See puns. You see how this works? And you're wondering, what is he talking about? And you know what? I don't know. I don't know. So today, the good news is, did you happen to see Joe Biden? Bless his heart. Joe Biden, why did they bring him out? Why did they remind you of what he was? Why did they remind you of this babu? Okay? Did you hear him?
Fewer than 100 days.
Yeah, 80. Today was 85. Today was actually 85 days. Thank you. Why would Joe say fewer than 100? I'd say 85. Doesn't that make sense? If you want to talk about how bad Trump is, you would say 85. Means like in just 85 days versus 100 days, like, well, 100 is a lot. So anyway, so he blew that. But here he is. Bless his heart.
Fewer than 100 days.
Uh-huh.
This new administration has made done so much damage and so much destruction.
Now, by the way, this is with the Adderall and B12. This is with his juice. He's juiced right now. He is juiced. Do you see what I'm saying? Juiced. He's gaffed. He's waxed on the juice. He is roaring right now. This is it, okay?
It's kind of breathtaking it could happen that soon.
What? To be this incredible control? Crime, I can tell you right now, walking down the streets of New York, all those weird people, they're gone. They are gone. No more border crossings. Do you hear about the border anymore? No, there's nobody there. They're not even there. We're throwing people are voluntarily leaving. Get the hell out of here. It is demonstrably better. And this man is talking about how things are worse.
They've taken a hatchet to the Social Security Administration.
I didn't know what that means. I think he said they're taking a hatchet or Patchett. Patchett and Tarsus. Remember that group years ago? They're taking a hatchet to the Social Security. No, they're not.
Pushing an additional 7,000 employees.
Yeah, because but this is called waste. You chidrulo. It's called waste.
7,000.
Yeah, and it's going to be 10,000 by next week. That's waste. Do you understand? Waste. You were the guy who signed up for the USAID thing. You chidrulo, babbo, sticky de tonanna.
Out the door in that time.
figlio de puttana,
including the most seasoned career officials.
testarola,
Now they're getting ready to push thousands more out the door.
testa de cazzo,
Already we can see the effects. For example, thousands of people use the Social Security website every single day to check on their benefits and submit their claims.
What is he talking about?
But now,
Now,
the technology division of Social Security Administration has been cut in half.
the technology division of the Social Security has been cut in half. No, it's not.
And so the website's crashing.
Is the website crashing? Have you heard about the website crashing, honey? I never heard of that. I've heard about it. Have you heard of that? Have you heard about that there, Pops? I don't think so. He's making this up.
People can't sign on to their accounts.
Que come mierda.
What do you think it does
Hijo de gran puta, chico.
to that woman's living alone?
Hijo de gran come mierda.
At 74 years checking and just not able to even find out whether she can't even find
Esa
out
de la minga.
what disability claim she has. She
Fituto.
can't file a new disability claim.
Mentiroso.
And a lot of these people are being told incorrectly that their benefits have ended.
Paquete. Paquete.
Folks,
What?
imagine the panic that causes.
What panic? What are you talking about? Who's panicking? Nobody's panicking. Nobody's panicking.
If you're a retiree living alone,
You're tired living alone, and you're living in a rat-infested hovel like the Hackmans.
with only Social Security to depend upon.
That's all you got. As opposed to me, I've got shoe boxes filled with cash that I got from those Chinese people who my drug-addicted syphilitic son Hunter.
So now people are overwhelming the phone lines.
Really? What is he talking about?
They're showing up at the local Social Security office.
And they're showing up at this. Hey, what's going on here? I can't get through. All these old people, have you seen that? What is he talking about?
Tearful and frantic and
Tearful, frantic, frenetic, paroxysmally discombobulated.
told, "Do you have an appointment?"
Ooh, he raised his voice.
In that tone, by the way. I can give you a personal example if
Oh, he knows? Oh, you've been there, Joe?
I'm not going to though.
Oh, Joe's been to the Social Security. He's a liar. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I want you to understand something. These people just don't understand. He doesn't understand how it works. You know what else he doesn't understand? Are you drowning in debt, struggling with credit cards or medical bills or personal loans? Well, you're not alone. There's help, real help available right now. National Debt Relief is one of the top-rated debt relief companies in America, helping thousands of individuals like... I don't know what the hell happened. Let me try it again. Are you drowning in debt, struggling with credit cards or medical bills or personal loans? Well, you're not alone. There's help, real help available right now. National Debt Relief is one of the top-rated debt relief companies in America, helping thousands of individuals like you break free from overwhelming financial burdens. For anyone owing over $10,000, National Debt Relief may be able to reduce that debt by up to half or even more. No bankruptcy, no new loans, just a smarter, faster way to financial freedom. Here's how it works. Step one, you submit the form at No Debt with Lionel. Just go there right now. Step two, a representative will call within minutes to discuss personalized options. In step three, they'll create an affordable plan tailored to your individual budget and timeline. Many clients become debt-free in as little as 24 to 48 months, paying less than they owe and avoiding years of stress and interest. And the consultation is completely free with no obligation. So what are you waiting for? Why keep dodging calls and watching interest stack up? So go right now to NoDebtWithLionel.com. That's NoDebtWithLionel.com. This could be the turning point, the step toward peace of mind, control, and a fresh start. NoDebtWithLionel.com. Go now. Now, my friends, let me ask you this question. Did you happen to see this wonderful little piece? Her name, by the way, is Kamala. And what they're doing is we're going back and we're revisiting who these people were and what they're all about. And one of them is why they would be bringing Joe Biden out now. This is the most important thing in the world. Why would they be bringing Joe Biden out now? In fact, Vito said, what was that fear-mongering straw man circle jerk of a speech? The only reason people are losing sleep is because they believe his lies. That is correct. That is so correct. You're absolutely correct. But let's go back to this one thing. They still don't get it. Let me see if I can start off by telling you. Number one, if you want to win, if this is what you're trying to do, you're going to have to keep this man at home. Now, for whatever reason, I don't know why, but somebody told you it'd be a good idea for you to put Joe Biden somewhere on the, I don't know what the word is. Put him out there. Put Joe Biden out there. That up, baby. Why? Why would you let him get near anybody? Why would you let them get near? Let him get near the crowds. Do you remember this, ladies and gentlemen? Do you remember this one? This was 20 days. 20 days. This is the most important. 20 days before the election. She was on with Brett Baer. Do you remember when Brett Baer absolutely destroyed her? Do you remember this? This was right before the election. This was the best they had. And I was just perusing the various pieces, and I came upon this. Remember this one?
Jocelyn Nungary, Rachel Morin, Laken Riley.
These are the people. Now watch this. This was that great. Let me go back. This was, and believe it or not, you might laugh, she is still at the top of the Democrats' list, so many people are saying, for 2028. Think I'm kidding? Don't forget midterms. They don't, you see, for the longest time, when you had all of that money coming in through USAID and others, you didn't have to worry about things like elections or common sense. You just always had the money. Money for the lawfare, money for the judges, money for this, money for everything, money for nothing, and your chicks for free. And I mean that sincerely, okay? Now watch this. Watch this, dear friends.
They are young women who were brutally assaulted and killed by some of the men who were released at the beginning of the administration, well before a negotiated bipartisan bill.
That's right, right off the bat. Remember, during her term, Trump had nothing to do with this. Listen to her answer. Just to remind you.
But border security had actually been passed 9 months ago.
Border security had been passed, okay?
It would be 9 months that we would have had more border agents at the border.
Now, remember, if it had been passed, so listen to what she's saying, 9 months, which would be during her administration. Do you hear what I'm saying? Are you following this? If this had been passed 9 months before, during her administration, okay?
Security had actually been passed 9 months ago.
Yeah. Had we passed this, not Trump,
it would be 9 months that we would have had more border agents at the border.
There we go. If it had been passed 9 months ago, it would have been 9 months that we would have had that which we passed 9 months ago. You see this? What does this have to do with Trump? I have no idea.
More support for the folks who are working around the clock.
More support for them had we passed it, had we done it.
Trying to hold it all together.
Madam Vice President.
That's where Brett said, I'm going to come in. I'm going to come in. Now watch. Brett's going to move in. He's going to move in.
Sure that no future harm would occur. And this election in 20 days.
20 days.
Will determine whether we have a president of the United States who actually cares more about fixing a problem, even if it is not to their political advantage in an election.
She's forgetting all about Joe Biden. Just remember this, please.
Because there was a solution, Brett.
Madam Vice President, it was a policy decision in the early part of your administration.
Yes. You see that? So understand what we're doing right now. Let me make sure you and everybody is aware of this. Number one, Do not turn your back on the Democratic Party. Do not turn your back on these people. I am telling you, and I promise you, that they may not seem like much to you. Oh, we can laugh at them. Oh, those people buy gum. Yeah. Well, let me tell you something. They're not going anywhere. You know, Laurie Cuck says, in search of the elusive morel mushrooms. Indeed. Don't know what that means, but God bless you. Now, that's number one. Number two, I'm going to say it again. Midterms. If you think these people are just going to go away, they're not going to reconnect, reconnoiter, recoalesce, reformulate. If you think that's going to happen, you're not paying attention. You don't really know how these people work. Believe me when I tell you this. Believe me when I tell you this. They are absolutely, without a doubt, vicious. Next, number three, I believe, they don't know how to do it. Recently, if I were in the Democratic Party, I'm going to say, I don't want Joe Biden anywhere. I want him gone. Next, if Bernie and AOC show up to Coachella, or as some people say, Coachella, we will have nothing to do with you. We are hereby, the Democratic Party, absolving, abnegating any and all connection with you. Any and all. Period. 100%. You got to understand this. Because you remind people of what we are not. You are part of a party that is going to kill us. And Bernie, you were the ones who let those people down when they threatened your wife. Remember that one? Remember when Bernie was great? Remember he sat there at the convention crying like a little bitch? Remember that? And AOC, she doesn't know what she's doing. So please remember that. And in the meantime, we're doing great and everything's perfect, but do not turn your back on these people. And you better make sure you've got something. You better have a deep bench and think midterms. I am telling you, midterms. That's all. Now, so the Democrats do not know what they're doing. Why? Because you don't understand something. For the longest time, they have been, imagine up till now, you have lived in a small town and you never gave a speeding ticket. You never got a speeding ticket. And the reason why is because I bought off the police. And in this small town, they were instructed you are never to get a speeding ticket. But those people aren't there anymore. The chief's been fired or the chief died or whatever it is. And those people who protected you before aren't here anymore. But you're still speeding because you've never known what it is to follow the law. That's the way these people are. They don't understand what it means. They don't understand what it means to be, to actually have to play by the rules. USAID is done. You don't know how big that was. You have no idea. None. I mean, there are people. Wait till NPR. I mean, you're going to see things collapse before your very eyes. That's all I want to say, my friends. That's all I want to say to you, dear great friends, up to and including Laurie Cuck and DS and Vito and DB and Stephen Lynch. Thank you for that. Make sure you also listen to Mrs. L. Mrs. L is very, very important. Very, 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 very important. Great piece with this wonderful FBI agent named Jen Coffindaffer. Be up in a little bit. It's fantastic. Also, remember to follow me on Lionel, what you call your Lionel Legal. And of course, make sure you are aware of LionelNation. And make sure, in addition, my friends, make sure that you watch this brand new video where I was on today with our friends at Redacted explaining the Harvey Weinstein case and similar fact evidence and why that's a problem. All right, dear friends? Okay. God bless yous. Have a great and a glorious day. Thank you so much for honoring me with your presence. Thank you so much for your support. Make sure you are still subscribed to Lionel Nation, because with your help If the good Lord's willing and the creek don't rise, we will all march to intellectual prominence and preeminence. And I mean that sincerely. All right, dear friends, have a great and glorious day until we meet again. Remember, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Ta-ta.